In this video, I'm going to show you my top 5 tips to explode your calendar with qualified meetings so that you can generate more sales for your business. And I want to give a huge shout out to AppSumo for helping make this video possible. If you don't know what AppSumo is, it is a platform where over 1 million entrepreneurs trust it for everything they need for their business. On AppSumo, you can discover, buy, sell products you need to level up your skills and build the lifestyle you're passionate about. And specifically for this video, one of their products called Closely has been the kind sponsor of it, and we'll talk more about them in a second. So if you want to check that out, make sure to check the link in the description. So what we're doing in this video is this: we're going to teach you how you can get more meetings on your calendar, right? So if you are anybody that has to sell, whether you're an entrepreneur, coach, account executive, you know that sometimes your calendar gets dry. You want to sell, but there's nobody at your door. So you have to be able to prospect and fill your calendar up with meetings. So I'm going to show you exactly how to do that, how to think about that so that you can get more results. Now, the first tip I have for you is you want to identify high quality prospects. So the mistake I see most people make is this: a lot of times we sell to people that are just near us or around us or a friend of a friend or something like that. And the reality is they may not be the most qualified, meaning some people just don't have money to buy your product. They just can't afford it, right? And so there's no point trying to sell to someone that has no money. So you want to have somewhat of a checklist to see if someone is qualified, because when you're selling, you are selling them as much as they are selling you. You are going down your checklist to make sure that this guy has money, they have a pain, they're the type of person that would buy my software or whatever the product is, right? You're checking off the boxes. Now, if they don't have the money, then don't waste your time. Just move on to the next person. Don't try to sell something to someone that doesn't need your product, right? And so identify your high quality prospects, which is also known as an ideal customer profile. Another tip when it comes to that is this: especially if you're an entrepreneur, you always want to think about who you're selling to and if you actually want to spend time with those people. I know a lot of times, especially in the beginning, you may be spinning your wheels and you might just be selling to anyone who's willing to give you a chance. The problem with that is over time, you'll realize that you may not want to spend that much time with them. If you're like a coach, maybe that's not the type of person you want to coach. For example, if you try to coach someone that doesn't have money, they're not really trying that hard, they're always trying to negotiate your price down, it's just really a pain in the butt, right? But if you're working with high level entrepreneurs with plenty of money and they're willing to spend money on coaching, those are much better clients because they get more results, they try harder, and they don't haggle when it comes to price. So really think about what type of people you want to spend time with. Do you want to spend time with people who don't try hard and don't have money? Or do you want to spend time with people who actually have a successful business and they have money to spend on your products and services, right? Now, the next tip I have for you is this: once you identify your ideal customer, is you want to find a high quality lead source. Back in the day, before there was software or anything like that, how I used to do it was you go on Google, you type in top companies in finance, and you just make a list of all these people. Then you have to manually find them on LinkedIn, put them in Excel and things like that. But nowadays, there's software to solve that problem, right? And so you want to use software to save you hours and hours and hours of time. And actually, speaking of software, now is actually a great time to talk about our sponsor for this video, which is AppSumo and one of their products on their website, Closely HQ. AppSumo's Black Friday sale will run from November 19th to December 1st. So make sure to check out their website and check out Closely for 90% off for a limited time. So what is Closely exactly? Well, it's a one-stop tool to find leads, reach out to them on LinkedIn, and create these automated campaigns. So there's really 4 steps, right? The first one is choose your audience. Who are these people that you want to reach out to? And you can find all these people on LinkedIn. So it's just a very quick way to find these companies and these people. And you can also upload Excel sheets of databases that you might have. And also Closely has their own database as well. So you can also filter through their database of, I don't know how many millions of people there to find your prospects. From there, you're able to connect with these people on LinkedIn in an automated way, right? So you can automate the entire process, send them a LinkedIn connection request, view their profile, endorse your skills, whatever the case is, it'll automate it for you so you don't have to do it one by one. Once you make a request, you can automate the process of sending a message. So you might be today I'm going to send all the messages, connect with everyone. 3 days from now, I'm going to send a message to everyone, seeing if they're interested or if they have a pain point that I can help them with, right? So it kind of automates the entire process. And you can also follow up with the prospect, using this automation software as well. One-stop place where you can do all these things, especially if you want to really tackle LinkedIn specifically. And, it has analytics and things like that, so you can see what's working, what's not, how to improve your conversion rates to find and convert your leads into meetings. So if you want to learn more about Closely, make sure to check out the link in the description to see if it's something for you. With When it comes to lead generation, right? Of course, you want to use something like LinkedIn and software as well to automate the process to save time, which is why automation, the outbound prospecting, is going to be the most important thing, to be honest, right? So I've done a lot of sales prospecting in my day, right? Literally thousands of outbound outreach. And here's what I've learned. There's a formula you should follow when it comes to the outbound prospecting. Every industry is going to be a little different. You have to change it depending on who your target audience is. But for the most part, the concept is going to be the same. And I'm going to share it with you now. The first step is you just want to find your ideal customer profile. And you want to basically find, let's say, like 20 companies that fit the ideal customer profile, right? You can do more if you can. Having more is better, but sometimes you want a sample size. Once you have that companies in your list, you want to find 4 people at the company that you want to reach out to. It's going to be director, VP, and up. So director level being the lowest level you want. You don't want the managers. You don't want people that execute. You want people who are directors and above, because they're the ones that have the decision-making power when it comes to buying your products and services. So you make your list. You have your people, and then you want to send outbound messages to those 4 people at that company, right? So you're sending it to all of them. Sometimes you can send the same exact thing to all of them, change the name, right? And then from there, you want to wait between 3 days to 1 week to follow up. You don't want to follow up day after, not 2 days after, minimum 3 days. Usually I wait 3 days to 1 week, and you can vary it, right? So it just feels natural. And then how many follow-ups should you do? You should do 3 follow-ups. So total, you're going to send 4 messages. One is the first message. The second is follow-up, 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 right? There's different ways to follow, which I have many different videos on my YouTube channel on how to do that. For now, we're going to just keep it high-level strategy. You want to follow up 3 times. What's going to happen is that every time you send a follow-up, your conversion rate is going to increase about 4 to 6%. If each time you send a message to someone, the conversion is 4 to 6%, by the end of it, your conversion rate should be like 16% to 24%, right? 24% response rate is actually very high. So if you send 100 emails and 24 people respond, that's actually very good for outbound prospecting. That's pretty much the name of the game, right? And so once you have a formula that works, like you identified a niche that has a problem and these people actually want to buy your services, then from those 20 to 50 people of your sample size, you just want to multiply it, and you find more people in different states, different countries, and you just hit them all up using the formula that works. That's why I'm really a big advocate of like testing in small batches first and then scaling it up if you have something that works. You don't want to send 1,000 emails and have nobody respond. Look at your data to see that it's converting before you go bigger, right? And because if you don't, you might be targeted as spam and stuff like that. So that's literally all there is to the game. Now I'll give you another tip when it comes to increasing your response rate, and that's actually creating content. So creating content is very powerful, and I've learned this as someone who has done YouTube content, Twitter, and X. When people think you're somewhat niche famous in your industry, your response rate goes up like crazy. A lot of people actually don't realize, but I actually have somewhat of a Twitter following, right? Because I talk about like NFTs, crypto, and Web3, which is a little bit separate from the whole B2B side of my YouTube channel, which is what you're watching now. And so in this whole industry, people kind of know who I am. I'm pretty ethical in how I do things, so people trust me. What happens is like, I'll post these videos on X, or I have another YouTube channel called The Parallax, which also posts YouTube videos on these kind of things. Basically, when I reach out to people at different companies, if I want to like consult them, advise them, or want to connect with an executive at a company, when they go on my Twitter page and they go on my YouTube channel, they suddenly think like, oh wow, this guy's actually pretty legit. Let me take a meeting with him, right? So just because I have content, when I do any type of outbound, my response rate is going to increase. At the same time, I'm going to get a lot of inbound because people watch my content, they become a fan of the channel, and then they're like, yo, I got to meet this guy. So if you create content as an entrepreneur, that is going to actually separate yourself from other people. It creates somewhat of a brand. You don't have to get millions of views, right? Because my Twitter page, it only has like tens of thousands of followers. Those followers are going to be executives at the right companies. They're going to be founders as well, the people I want to connect with and people I want to do work with, right? So you don't have to be the most famous person, but you have to get people to know who you are in your industry. Like be niche famous, and you can make quite a lot of money doing that. That's one of the hacks that I found. Like even some posts I have on Twitter get like 50 likes, 30 likes, but still like it's enough to actually increase your conversion rate because other people have nothing, right? And so if you do that little extra thing, you're going to stand out from the rest of the crowd. And literally like social media can change your life, because for me, I've met a lot of friends through social media. I built this entire like Web3 brand using social media. And so it's really made an impact. So I really pass that off to you guys because I've literally done it myself over the last like 2 years. It's worked very, very well. So with that said, that's everything we got to cover for this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to give it a like, subscribe, turn on notifications, and let me know in the comments what's the #1 thing you took away from this video. And I'm going to see you in the next one.